Hello there, friends. I'm a BRIARD dog, and while I may not be an official mascot, I've got a tale to tell about my equine neighbor, Traveler, the magnificent mascot of the University of Southern California. You see, I live near the stables where Traveler resides, and let me tell you, that horse has some stories. We often chat over the fence. Well, I bark and he neighs, but we understand each other just fine. Traveler's legacy began long before either of us were born, way back in 1961. He told me about Richard Salco, the man who first rode a white horse named Traveler in the Rose Parade. USC folks spotted him and thought, now that's a horse fit for a Trojan. And just like that, Traveler became part of the Trojan family. Now, I may be a herding dog, but even I have to admit there's something special about watching Traveler gallop around the Coliseum. He does it after every USC score, you know. I once asked him if he ever gets dizzy, but he just whinnied and said something about Trojan pride. Horses, am I right? Traveler told me about his big debut at the USC Georgia Tech game in September 1961. Can you imagine? All those humans cheering for a horse. I mean, I get excited when my human comes home, but this is a whole different level. One thing that always makes my tail wag is hearing about Traveler's pregame ritual. Before each home game, he carries a rider dressed as a Trojan warrior onto the field. The band plays Conquest, and the crowd goes wild. I've tried to teach him how to bay along with the music, but he says neighing is more his style. Over the years, there have been several Travelers, each one a pure white horse. Traveler says it's a big responsibility, representing the spirit of those ancient Trojan warriors. I told him I could probably do the job. I've got the noble bearing and all. But he just snorted and said something about needing to be a bit taller. You know, Traveler's not just about football games. He's appeared in movies and TV shows too. Can you believe it? I auditioned for a dog food commercial once, but all I got was a pat on the head and a biscuit. Show business is rough. Traveler also told me about the extensive training he goes through. It takes a lot to stay calm, with 90,000 fans cheering and that big Trojan cannon firing. I get nervous just when the mailman comes, so I'm pretty impressed. As a herding dog, I appreciate a good routine, and Traveler's got one. He's not just at football games. He shows up at all sorts of USC events throughout the year. Commencements, pep rallies, you name it. Talk about a busy social calendar. You know, sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be a mascot like Traveler. But then I remember how much I love chasing squirrels and taking naps, and I think maybe I've got it pretty good right here. So next time you're at a USC game and you see that flash of white thundering around the field, think of Traveler, and maybe spare a thought for his furry friend who's probably watching from home, barking at the TV and dreaming of chasing that horse just once around the Coliseum. Fight on, Trojans! And remember, every great horse could use a good herding dog by his side.